Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to True Sim Productions. I am your host, Winston Deal from the WD Broadcasting Network. Tonight we are at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for race number 3 of the SRX Spring Shootout, brought to you by the All-Star Racing League. And from the looks of it, really sure what it is. Something in my mic is going on. I think I'm going to switch microphones really quick and try and figure that out. But it looks like it's working for now. Maybe I'll just not touch anything and that'll work. But Dalton Creech right now. Alright, we try this and hope that it works, and I think I've got it figured out. I do apologize again about that. I'm not quite sure what the technical issue behind that was, but for some reason my microphone just decided it didn't want to work with that cord anymore. So I got a new microphone cable plugged in, same mic. Luckily I don't have to switch to the other one. I really hope that it just works. But nonetheless, let's take a look at the left side of our screen. And Brandon Elvis is at the top spot. Best lap time of a 18:39. Let me try and get everything situated on my other monitor, and we are good. All right, everything is ready to go. We are ready to race, and it's going to be an exciting one. Last week we were at Lucas Oil, and a lot of exciting racing there. Drama late in the race. Justin Coleman battling it out with Sorry about that. Justin Coleman battling it out with Hunter Lagoons. Unfortunately, Lagoon's not in the field with us this evening, but we do have some pretty good competition. 14 cars making the call tonight. At the front of those, with his pole position, the 54 machine, Brandon Elvis, going to be starting P1 tonight. He won the first race of the SRX Spring Shootout back at Five Flags 2 weeks ago. To his outside, Brian Zimmerman in the 28, Zimmy, as they like to call him. Ryan Rose starting in the third spot. Oh, hang on a minute.
Should be fun. Back on asphalt.
Let me fix that really quick, guys, so we don't have voice chat on. There we go. That scared me for a minute because I heard somebody talk and I thought I was in a Discord channel. But we're all good to go. So back to our grid run through. Row number 3 going to be Ryan Rose in the 78 machine. And then to his outside, Tanner Marr in the 4. Anthony Reddick going to be rolling off from the 5th spot in the 9. Up on the outside of him, the 36 machine of Dalton Creech, who we just heard talking a moment ago. Matthew Keuchel in the 14 machine. Apologies if I got the name wrong right there, but to his outside, Daniel Sweat in the 07. And back behind him, another similar Richard Petty car, the Dynaco car, the King from Cars, coming into this field here tonight, rolling off from the 9th spot. That's Larry Bell. Kevin Prettyman up top in the 88 machine. We've seen him a couple times this season. Brandon Metler had a good run going last week. Justin Coleman in the 14 machine. He had a really good run going last week. Was able to battle up front with Hunter Lagoons, but unfortunately a little bit of controversy late in the race kept him out of victory lane. But coming into tonight's race, leading our SRX Spring Shootout point standings is your pole sitter, Brandon Elvis, who's got 1 win and 2 top 10 finishes to his name so far this season. Second place in the point standings is Jeffrey Miller in the 79 machine. Tonight, he will be rolling off from the 13th spot. So we'll have to see what they can do. But up in the front of the field, Brian Zimmerman, Brandon Elvis, leading the field through turns 3 and 4. The Bad Company Racing pace car makes its way to the bottom of the racetrack. And through the Mr. All-Time Gaming restart zone, we are green flag in race number 3. Into turns 1 and 2. The field spreading out using all of the track available here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. And down the back straightaway, Brandon Elvis is going to take the top spot early on. Battle right here for the third spot off the corner, but give lap number 1 to Brandon Elvis as they all make their way through the center of the corner. Everybody's starting to get single filed out pretty quick here. Daniel Sweat, Anthony Rennick battling for the 6th spot. I got a feeling as we get later into this race, the top side might become a little bit more effective as some heat gets into these tires and people start to wear off that right front tire. But the battle right here is sitting pretty good for the 6th spot as we do have a yellow flag. I believe Jeffrey Miller in the 79. Ooh, he's turned around in turns 3 and 4. I think that might have happened after the fact as Brandon Metler's out back with some damage on his 15 machine. We'll take a look at what happened. Looks like going into 1 and 2. Just got a little bit sideways. Those bumps down there at the bottom of 1 and 2 really treacherous. As Metler got sideways down there, trying to see what happened to Miller in the 79. Just might have had a little bit of trouble getting it slowed down, and oh, right into the tire. Man, just got unlucky with where he scraped the wall. I think if he would have scraped it a little bit earlier, maybe made it into the pit exit, he could have avoided some damage right there, but he's going to have to go down to get a fast repair here early on. Not what you wanted to see if you're that 79 machine. We've got 5 laps in here at the fairgrounds. So far, Brandon Elvis, your race leader. took the lead on that initial start and looked like he had a pretty comfortable gap built up there before that caution was thrown. So a couple guys coming down pit road. Jeffrey Miller in the 79, still on pit road. Not sure if they have a fast repair available to them, but nonetheless, big damage on the 79. Gonna alter his chances quite a bit. Metler in the 15 makes his way back out on track. Looks like just some minimal damage there on the 15 car, so he's able to get all that repaired. But the field doubling up behind the Bad Company Racing pace car. We're going to see the lights drop, and there they go. Getting ready to go green flag next time around. It'll be interesting to see what Brian Zimmerman can do on this restart. If he shows any pressure to the 54 or he just tries to settle in, we'll see what goes on. But the pace car makes its way to the bottom of the racetrack. 28 of Zimmy up top, Brandon Elvis the 54 down low. Through the Mr. All-Time Gaming restart zone once again. We are back green flag racing. Elvis with another good restart down into turns 1 and 2. Everybody double file. Elvis gets the jump. A couple cars scraping the outside wall. I think Matthew Keuchel might have gotten into the outside wall. Nearly contact with the 4 of Tanner Marr. Kind of slid up the racetrack a little bit there into turns 3 and 4, but everybody keeps them pointed in the right direction. There's Ryan Rose. Ooh, Dalton Creech up the racetrack. He is sideways. Daniel Sweat collected. Kevin Prettyman might have gotten a piece there in the 88. But Dalton Creech goes around down the back straightaway. We saw him kind of get a little bit loose off the corner, and then the camera cut. We'll see if we can get a better view. Is right here from the blimp up top on the exit of turns 1 and 2. Might have just gotten a little bit too much throttle too soon and nowhere for Daniel Sweat to go. Prettyman gets a tiny little piece there. He should be good to go, though. But under caution for a second time here tonight, 10 laps in. As up front, your race leaders. We're pretty close right there. Zimmerman got a better start than that last time around, and he was able to get right up to the back bumper. He was putting some pressure on the 54 of Elvis, but nothing too harmful just yet. But under caution for a second time here this evening. Look back through the field, some of our biggest movers so far. Justin Coleman in that 14 machine. Right now, he is sitting in the 7th spot from his 12th place starting position. He's gotten 5 positions from the start of this one. But we are still early on here, 12 laps in of our 100 laps scheduled. So we'll see what Coleman can do throughout the remainder of this one. And hopefully we can get a long run in here, because one of my favorite parts of the fairgrounds is the comers and goers in the sequence of a long run. It's very easy to eat the tires up here, and as Brandon Elvis has seen, I can't save tires for anything, so I'm glad I'm not partaking in this race tonight. Still not getting the one-to-go signal just yet. Race control taking their time to get the lineup correct before we send them back. Green flag racing. This battle for the third spot's getting pretty spicy. Ryan Rose and Tanner Marr have battled pretty close, and before that caution came out, they were side by side. Neither one was able to get the big advantage over the other. As we get the 1 to go signal, the lights are off on the iRacing.com pace car, or sorry, the Bad Company Racing pace car. That's a mistake that I rarely make and shouldn't make this far into our journey with the All-Star Racing League together, but it happens to the best of us sometimes. Either way, lights are off on the Bad Company Racing pace car, and Brandon Elvis, Brian Zimmerman once again leading the field through turns 3 and 4. Pace car on a pit road. We are back racing for the third time here this evening. Tanner Marr in the 4 did not get a good start right there. We'll see what they can do. It looked like he might have missed a shift there. Something. The 78 of Rose is going to have plenty of space there to try and go to battle on your leaders. But right now, Brian Zimmerman took a peek to the inside. Elvis went way up the track in turns 3 and 4, and Zimmerman kept that 28 machine down towards the line. He's starting to close that gap a little bit. Field's starting to get single filed out. We'll take a look at them through turns 1 and 2. Everybody getting a little bit spread out. Justin Coleman trying to make moves in the 14 machine. Looked way up top on Matthew Keuchel in the 14. Nothing for him there. And we'll see how easy passing is. This car is... It's hard enough to race by yourself, but it's even harder to try and pass somebody without getting loose and sliding into them. So it'll definitely be a tough task for these guys tonight to come from deep in the field. And we've got one around in turns 3 and 4. Daniel Sweat, Brandon Mettler, missing a couple body pieces there. We'll take a look at what happened. So they were battling for the 10th spot, it looks like. Or maybe not battling. Not quite sure what happened to the 15 and Brandon Mettler right there. I'm going to get another view. Try and see if we can see what happened. He was running in front of Larry Bell in the 43 as you see him a little bit sideways in 1 and 2, the previous corner. But it looks like going into 3. Oh, yeah, looks like the same thing. Just got in a little bit too hot, overcorrected, and up the track he went. And Daniel Sweat was a completely separate incident. But he was also collected, might have spun trying to avoid that. But nonetheless, third caution flag for us here this evening. 20 laps in to our 100 scheduled laps. Elvis right now trying to settle in. He's been able to get good restarts, and from the looks of it, that's what you're going to need to do. So right now the 54 machine might be the car to beat, as he has not been able to... We've not really been able to see the speed of these guys. We just have had a couple short runs, but if we get a long run, I think we're going to see some different faces towards the front of the field. As we are approaching a quarter of the way through this one, we will be coming back to green with 75 to go. As the field should get the 1 to go signal this time. Elvis looking to get another good restart. Tanner Marr in the 4 car last time around did not get a good restart in the 4 machine. It looks like he might have missed a shift. Not quite sure when on, but that whole back lane kind of shifted back a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on everybody throughout the field. But the pace car makes the hard left turn down to pit road, and we are getting ready to go back racing. It's through the Mr. All-Time Gaming restart zone one more time. And we're back racing. Tanner Marr in the 4 gets hooked on the front stretch. Not quite sure what happened. Might have spun the tires a little bit. I'm going to try and go back and look. But we're going to have to watch this pace lap back. But unfortunate turn of events there for the 4 machine. Oh my gosh, that's how those controls work. Okay, we've just unlocked a new thing here at WD Broadcasting Network. I just figured something out. That's cool. Oh, just not quite sure what happened. It looked like he got booted from behind by either, I think it was Matthew Keuchel in the 14. But nonetheless, the 4 machine on pit road looks to be maybe retiring from this one. He reset right after the caution flag came out, so that kind of sways my opinion towards saying that he is maybe retiring the 4 car. So for the 4th time this evening, the field back under the yellow flag conditions. So during this caution break, I'm going to take a quick step away and go get a refill on the water and maybe take a quick stop by the restroom. But we'll be back in just a moment with coverage of the next restart here on Truson Productions. I'll be right back in just a moment. Alrighty folks, the lights are back off on the Bad Company Racing pace car. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing once again, and we'll see if we can get them wound up and rolling a little bit faster. We've had a couple early incidents so far in this one. Hopefully we can get things figured out. These guys can put on a show, but the pace car is off. And once again through the restart zone, Elvis a little bit quicker through the zone right there, and he's able to get a good jump into turns 1 and 2. We'll see what they can do down the back straightaway. Everybody hopefully making it clean and green down the back. It's a 2-car breakaway right now. Back behind him. Everybody scrambling for position. Larry Bell, the king, in the 43 down low. Bradley Hollifield in the 3 machine up top. Oh! Matthew Keuchel in the 14 goes around on the exit of 2. That's very treacherous here tonight. The exit of 2. We'll look up above. Looks like contact there. Oh, just a little bit of contact from the 14 of Justin Coleman. The 14J, I should say, of Justin Coleman. But under caution for a 5th time. And Elvis tonight has had it easy so far in the 54. He's been able to capitalize from that quick time in qualifying, and he has sat on the front row the entirety of this race. We'll see if anybody's able to challenge him later on, but right now he's just putting on a restart masterclass, trying to keep the 28 away from him. And I think if you're Brian Zimmerman, you kind of have to, you got to be a little bit more aggressive on these restarts and try and at least get close to Elvis, because if you just snag the lead from him one time on a restart, you can work your way, or I guess you're in the lead, but if you just snag the lead from him one time, you have control of the race, and that completely throws off his game plan. So we'll see what kind of pressure the 28 of Brian Zimmerman applies, or if he's able to. We haven't seen him really get close to the 54 these past couple restarts. So the field should be getting the 1 to go right here. So 1 to go next time by. There it is. Or 1 to go this time by. Coming to the green next time by. Bradley Hollifield right now, your biggest mover, up 7 spots in the 3 machine. We'll see what he can do. See him right there on the right side of your screen. As the lights are back on the Bad Company Racing pace car, we're going to go another lap. Race control not quite happy with the lineup before we send them back. So the lights are back out. We're going to try this again. See if we can go green flag racing this time around. Pace car once again makes its way to pit road. Elvis Zimmerman through the restart zone. Once again, green flag racing, and Zimmerman gets a great jump this time. He is side by side with Elvis into turns 1 and 2. What can he do on the exit? Can he keep the momentum wound up? Nearly contact behind. I think everybody kept it going. But Elvis is going to be clear into turns 3 and 4, but Zimmerman is right there in the 28 machine, and the caution flag flies. Once again, Hollifield in the 3 out back. I think Mettler was involved as well. Another yellow flag, 6th caution flag this evening. But we'll take another look at what happened. You saw this on the initial restart, a little bit of controversy right there. Then going into turns 3 and 4, I think Mettler might have just gotten into the back bumper of the 15, and that was enough to draw the yellow flag. So Brandon Mettler in the 15 machine down pit road. Bradley Hollifield in the 3. I don't think he got too much damage from that, but we were just talking about him in that 7th spot. He's going to go restart back in 11th. Once again, back under the yellow flag. Zimmerman got a really good restart that last time, but just wasn't able to carry the momentum through the top side of turns 1 and 2. So Brandon Elvis was able to escape once again. Might be taking these guys to single file restarts. We'll see what race control has in mind. But so far, it is the Brandon Elvis and the Yellow Flag show here at the fairgrounds. The lights are off on the Bad Company Racing pace car. We are going to double them up. See Brian Zimmerman jump up to the outside of the 54 machine. We'll see what he can do on this restart. He did a good job last time with getting into the corner even with the 54 machine, but we'll see if he can make the move and get around him this time. 56 laps to go at the line, just shy of halfway. Green flag is back out. Good restart from Zimmerman, or from Elvis in the 54. Down the back straightaway, he is going to have the race lead. Here comes Ryan Rose for the 2nd spot, trying to take that away from Brian Zimmerman for the first time this evening. Zimmerman going to hold tough for now. We'll see what happens in turns 1 and 2. The 78 going to have to fall back in line for now. Everybody doing a good job. We're starting to have a little bit of a green flag run here. I kind of got goosebumps just saying that. Hopefully I'm not jinxing myself, but everybody doing a good job right now, giving each other space. So we look back behind Larry Bell, Matthew Keuchel battling for the 7th spot. Kevin Prettyman down low underneath Brandon Mettler out there as well. But up front, Brandon Elvis starting to open up that gap a little bit. Last time around about a 10th quicker, and the yellow flag is out once again. Kevin Prettyman in the 88 machine. Anthony Reddick in the 9 turned around on the front stretch as well. We'll take another look at what happened. This is the 9 machine of Anthony Reddick right here. He was running in the 4th spot right ahead of Dalton Creech in the 36. Oh, just got a little bit loose up the racetrack he went and just couldn't hang on to it. Did a good job of getting back down in front of the field, but I think a couple cars might have gotten collected in that. Looks like Kevin Prettyman in the 88, and then maybe even Daniel Sweat in the 07 as well. But once again, under caution for the 7th time here this evening. At the line right here, we are going to see the cross flags halfway in, halfway home. Brandon Elvis will be your Coleman Design halfway leader. right now, I think Brandon Elvis is going to be the favorite at this point in the race. He's led the entire race up to this point. He hasn't been touched on a restart. Things are looking good if you're a fan of the 54 machine of Brandon Elvis. But the light's still on in the iRacing.com pace car, not ready to go back green flag racing. We're going to go one more lap as well. Zimmerman going to roll off second. Elvis in the top spot. Rose, your third place driver right now. And in the fourth spot, Dalton Creech recovering from that early spin nicely up into the fourth spot. The best he's ran so far tonight. Let's see what else he can do just past the halfway point. As the lights do go off on the iRacing.com pace car, getting ready to send them back green flag racing. This time we're going to be sending them back with 46 laps to go. So turning the dial past the halfway mark. We'll see what these guys can do for the remainder of the race. Will anybody be able to challenge the 54? Will Brian Zimmerman be able to get up on the wheel on this restart and take that spot? We'll find out. Green flag is back out. We're racing it once again. Into turns 1 and 2. Elvis going to be clear of the 28 of Zimmerman, but here comes a big run from the 28 of Brian Zimmerman down the back straightaway. Trying to make the run. Looks towards the back bumper. Ooh, back behind him, the 78 machine. Ryan Rose going around. And caution flag flies once again. Jeffrey Miller in the 79 also collected. But here's another view once again of the 78 machine. Not quite sure what happened. I think there was a little bit of contact with the 36 of Dalton Creech, but not quite sure what exactly happened. Looks like going into the corner. Oh, maybe no contact at all. Just a little bit loose was the 78, and he came up, didn't want to collect the 36 and spun to the bottom side of the racetrack, so he's going to lose that track position he had. Back to the 11th spot is Ryan Rose in the 78. But once again, under yellow flag conditions, Brandon Elvis continuing to lead this race from the restarts. Haven't really got to see what anybody has as far as speed goes. We've only had maybe 5 lap runs, so if we get a long run later in this race, it's going to be a no holds barred race. Tire savings is going to be out the window with the limited laps that we've got left. Field once again behind the Bad Company Racing pace car. We're approaching the lap 60 mark of this one. Justin Coleman back up into the top 5. He's sitting in the 4th spot right now. Up 8 positions from his 12th place starting spot. Lights are back off once again on the Bad Company Racing pace car. Getting ready to send them back green flag racing. Hopefully we can get some green flag laps in right here and see what everybody's got. But Elvis Zimmerman through turns 3 and 4. Make their way through the restart zone. Both of them go relatively at the same time, but Elvis is going to have the advantage into turns 1 and 2. What can Zimmerman do in the 28? Down the back straightaway they go. Elvis got a little bit loose on the exit of the corner. I think Zimmerman's going to have a shot right here in the 28. Oh, and there's contact into the outside wall. Hard hit there. Elvis goes upside down almost. And he is without a front end. And that car is heavily damaged. Dog walking down the front straightaway. And a big one at the front for the 9th caution of this evening. Take a look at what happened between the 28 and the 54. I think Zimmerman might have just gotten in there a little bit too hot. Trying to make something happen. Yeah, just right there, a little bit of throttle through the corner. And man, hard hit right there. So we'll take another look at what happened. Yeah, just a tough situation there in turns 3 and 4. So we'll go on board with Brandon Elvis in the 54, see if we can figure out what he saw going into turns 3 and 4. Just contact there and nothing he could do. Head on into the wall. Without a front end as well. I'm sure Elvis not going to be very happy after leading this one, and now he is back in no man's land in the 12th spot. And your race leader is Dalton Creech in the 36. Currently sitting at the top spot after all that unfolded. Nine cautions into this one, 64 laps into this race. If you do some of the math right there, folks, you might see some disturbing numbers as far as green flag laps go. We haven't seen many of them here this evening. It's been a battle of the restarts, and the winner of the battle so far has been Brandon Elvis, but obviously, as we just saw, there's going to be a new challenger at the front. Dalton Creech in the 36, trying to pick up his first victory of the season. So Dalton Creech, Justin Coleman into turns 3 and 4. Gonna lead us to the green. 36 laps to go at the line. Sorry, 34 laps to go at the line. Just what can they do? Creech, Coleman battling through turns 3 and 4. Coleman on the top side. Looks like he has the momentum. Give the lap and the lead to Coleman into turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway, Dalton Creech trying to do everything he can to stay alongside, and the yellow flag is out. Once again, Bradley Hollifield in the 3 machine. Didn't quite catch what happened, but he was out back. Looks like Anthony Rennick in the 29 got tagged, or sorry, the 9. And then slid up into the 3 of Bradley Hollifield. So a tough break, but that is going to take us to caution flag number 10 here on lap 68 out of 100. And with that one, I'm going to take a quick step away and get another glass of water to try and get me through these next 30 laps. And we will return shortly here on True Sim Productions. We'll be back in one moment. So once again, the lights drop on the Bad Company Racing pace car, meaning we are going back green flag racing this time by. We'll see how long it lasts this time around. Justin Coleman, Dalton Creech going to lead us to the stripe. Old Red, the J14, Justin Coleman leading this one right now. We'll see what happens. Pace car off through turns 3 and 4, through the restart zone. We're back racing and down into turns 1 and 2. Dalton Creech with a good run on the top side. We'll see if he can cross him over down low. Everybody down the back straightaway. 3-4 car breakaway. As Larry Bell looks underneath. Kevin Prettyman for the 4th spot. Ryan Rose trying to come with as well in the 78. Everybody jostling for position back there, but right now up front, Justin Coleman is starting to creep out a little bit. He got a good restart right there. Held off the pressure from Justin Coleman. Brandon Mettler trying to make his way up onto the podium for the first time this evening underneath the 14 machine of Matthew Keuchel. Battle for the 3rd spot still on. Looks like the 14 going to drop back in line. Give the third spot to the 15 of Brandon Mettler for now. So the field has 25 laps to go at the line. Here comes Ryan Rose in the 78, trying to make his way around the 14 of Keuchel as well. Ooh, a little wiggle right there on the bottom. Look at Brandon Elvis making his way back up through the field in the 7th spot right now. Got the fast repair on pit road. Gonna try and charge his way back through here. He's sitting in the 7th spot right now, about 2.5 seconds back from Justin Coleman, your race leader. He's got a couple cars side by side for position in front of him. Daniel Sweat, Matthew Keuchel battle for the 5th spot. So here comes Brandon Elvis trying to make his way back up through the field. He's in the 6th. And looking at the last time around, he was the only race car on the track quicker than Justin Coleman. So the 54 machine is making a charge back through the field. We'll see what he can do. He's got some time to make up. But he's running a little bit quicker than Coleman, your race leader. Obviously 19 laps to go. It could take another caution, dare I say it, for the 54 of Brandon Elvis to get back up front. Is Coleman right now still out front, your race leader? 18 coming to 17 laps to go. Dalton Creech sitting in the 2nd spot, about a second back. Ryan Rose and Brandon Mettler are battling for the 3rd spot right here. Here comes the 78 down to the bottom side. Daniel Sweat in the 07 right there as well, ready to capitalize on whichever lane moves first. But he's got Brandon Elvis taking a look to his inside, trying to take away the 5th spot. Elvis going to tuck back in line up in front of them. 78 still working the bottom of the 15. A lot of different lanes coming into play on this racetrack here this evening. Ooh, Daniel Sweat, big save there on the exit. Back behind him, Matthew Keuchel, an even better one. Crazy save there on the exit of the 4. These guys are really up on the wheel here in the end of this one. 14 to go at the line for your race leader, Justin Coleman. As Brandon Mettler and Ryan Rose continue to battle for the 3rd spot. Here comes Brandon Elvis looking to make it a 3-car race for the 3rd position. Through the center of the corner. The 54 machine definitely has a lot of speed here in the later stages of this one. But does he have enough time? 13 laps to go. These two still side by side. No one able to get the advantage so far. And Brandon Elvis in the 54 might have to start making some pretty aggressive moves if he wants a shot at this one. Time is ticking. 11 laps to go for your race leader, Justin Coleman. But right now, all eyes are on that 3rd spot. 78 and the 15 have been side by side for several laps now. Nobody able to get the advantage. Here comes Ryan Rose with a nose out and clear into turns 3 and 4. So give the 3rd spot to Ryan Rose, but maybe not for long, as here comes Brandon Elvis in the 54. Brian Zimmerman trying to take the spot underneath Mettler as well, and Justin Coleman has checked out in the old red J14 machine. as he has gotten a 1.8 second lead over second place Dalton Creech. As the laps continue to wind down, 8 to go for your race leader. We'll look back to the third spot. Ryan Rose still hanging on for now. Starting to reel in Dalton Creech for the second spot. Elvis and Rose about 2/10 quicker than your race leaders. Those last couple laps, even quicker that time. 3/10 quicker was Ryan Rose than Dalton Creech in the second spot. We'll see if he's able to make the move here with 7 coming to 6 laps to go. Here comes the 78 of Ryan Rose to the inside. Down low, trying to keep it off of the 36 of Dalton Creech, holding them tight through the center. 5 laps to go at the line. A little bit of contact there, as there's 3 cars all putting their eyes on that second spot. Here comes Brandon Elvis way down the racetrack. Going to get a huge run down the back straightaway. Trying to figure out which lane to go with. Rose in the 78 might be starting to blink out a little bit there in the third spot. But Rose has the advantage, trying to take away the second position from Dalton Creech. Looks like he's able to right there. Here comes Brandon Elvis trying to take the second spot away from Ryan Rose in the 78. So we've got 3 laps to go. We're coming to 2 laps to go this time. Justin Coleman out front is clear and green. Smooth sailing from here. 2 laps to go. But back behind him, Ryan Rose, Brandon Elvis, everybody still trying to decide who's going to get second in this one. And the caution flag comes out. Man, Justin Coleman was 2 corners away from seeing that white flag and potentially the checkered right after that. But the caution flag flies one more time for the 11th time this evening. And Brian Zimmerman in the 28 machine got tagged in 1 and 2. Not quite sure how it happened. Maybe he didn't get tagged. Just came out from underneath him in the center of the corner. These cars are really tough at any track, and especially when you take them to a place where the bumps just throw you around like the fairgrounds. It's an even more tricky combo. So going into overtime, lap 100 right there. We're getting overtime, and we are past regulation here this evening. So Justin Coleman was the race leader after 100 laps, but will he be the winner? We are going to find out here in a couple of laps. Hopefully everything's back to normal. I hit the microphone cord again and it did its little shenanigans. Not quite sure what's going on, but that might mean that I need a new microphone, which is not a good sign for me. I gotta try and move the microphone a little bit more gracefully, I guess, but we're gonna be coming back to green with 2 laps to go. It's gonna be Justin Coleman versus the rest of the field behind him. We'll see what happens. But my eyes right here are on the 54 of Brandon Elvis. He is going to be hungry to get back up to the lead after the way he lost it earlier on. So we'll see what he can do to try and get around Justin Coleman in the 14. And the lights are off for hopefully a final time here at the fairgrounds. Justin Coleman, Ryan Rose going to lead us through turns 3 and 4. The pace car makes the hard left turn to the bottom side of the racetrack, down pit road, through turns 3 and 4. And Justin Coleman through the restart zone. We're back racing, 2 laps to go. Green-white checkered time here at the fairgrounds. Coleman's going to get the advantage down the back straightaway. Here comes Brandon Elvis, though, trying to take the second spot away. He's gotten around Ryan Rose, and Rose gets hooked in a big crash into turns 3 and 4. Everybody piling in, and we've got a parking lot in turns 3 and 4. We'll try and go back and look at what happened there exactly. We'll go back into turns 3 and 4. You see big time contact and everybody piling in. Nowhere to go for anybody right there. The track just got clogged. But we'll try and go back and get a better view. From the 78. Just contact right there from the 36, and bam, right up the racetrack. Everybody collected. We are not quite done yet, folks. We're going to have one more shot at it. On our second green-white checkered attempt right here. This is the final green-white checkered attempt. So whatever happens here is going to be the end of the race. Only 2 overtime finishes allowed in the All-Star Racing League. So I'm going to try and finish this one off here. But that's going to put Brandon Elvis in the second spot. And we'll see what he can do on this restart. But something tells me we are in for a heck of a finish between the 2 ECR teammates. So the lights are off once again on the Bad Company Racing pace car for a final time. Actually, for real this time, this is the last time the pace car will pull off the track this evening. So green, white, checkered once again. Justin Coleman, Brandon Elvis leading us through the restart zone. Back, green flag racing for a final time. The top 2 hard into turns 1 and 2. Who's going to have the advantage down the back straightaway? Give it to Justin Coleman, but the lane is there for Brandon Elvis on the top side. 54 up top, J14 down low. White flag is out. One more lap to go. Who's going to get it at the line? Brandon Elvis going to try and make that top side work. Coleman up the racetrack a little bit. Going to try and use up the whole track. Here comes Larry Bell in the 43. Going to try and make it a 3-car race into turns 3 and 4. Through the center of the corner. Brandon Elvis going to come out of the corner and be your race winner here at the fairgrounds. Picking up the victory after that hard crash earlier on. And Brian Zimmerman going to come home in the 3rd spot. Justin Coleman going to have to settle for 2nd after looking. He was so close to the victory there. 2 corners away from the white flag, and the caution flag flew. But Brandon Elvis picking up the victory here tonight. And he is going to burn it down in 1 and 2. Or maybe bring it to rest. There it is. But regardless, this one is over, folks. We're going to wrap it up in a couple minutes, or in a couple moments, with a word from our top 3 finishers, and then we'll wrap up coverage here at the fairgrounds. We'll return in just one moment, though, with our post-race interviews. Alrighty, folks, we are back here on True Sim Productions. I'm your host, Winston Deal. Gonna grab a word from our top 3 finishers, starting with our 3rd place finisher, Brian Zimmerman. See if he is in voice chat anywhere. There he is. We'll get him up in here. Brian Zimmerman, up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, bud. How you doing?
I'm all right. That was an eventful one.
That was, Winston. What? That was a lot of cautions early, but we got it cleaned up there. We had some good racing there at the end, so I'm just glad Brandon was able to come back and get that win after I turned him off a 4 there earlier in the race. So that was a well-deserved victory by Brandon. He was fast tonight, and I'm glad that me spending him early didn't cost him that win.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact there, but you both battled through the adversity of going to the tail of the field. You were able to get to the 3rd spot. He was able to get to the top spot, but sometimes you got to settle if you are that guy that made that contact, as you said. But, yeah, an eventful one here tonight. How did you do it getting back through the field there in the end? You spun on that 2-to-go caution and ended up in the 3rd spot. How'd you do it?
Yeah, I spun on well, the 2-to-go caution. I come into the wreck. They were wrecking in front of me, and I kind of spun trying to dodge, and but when everybody had to come to pit road for damage repairs, or they were also getting penalized because they was over the 25X rule, so they had to come through pit road, and that allowed me to get back up to the 3rd. So really, everybody else's misfortune helped me make up those spots there late. I think me and Brandon had good speed early, but there towards the end, I think the fastest car in the field at the end was Larry Bell. He had fresh tires, and if we could have had 2 or 3 more laps, I think Larry Bell might have pulled this one out tonight. So that was fun to see him run good tonight. He didn't get a lot of practice, but he came in and he had a shot there at the end and just spun it off a 4, but it was a great run for him.
Yeah, a lot of good runs throughout the field, and a lot of names that we didn't really expect to be up in the top couple spots there at the end, just because of the way that the field got shuffled around. So definitely a lot of controversy and excitement this race, but nonetheless on the podium once again here in the SRX Spring Shootout. Anybody that you have to thank that helped get you on the podium here tonight?
We'll definitely thank Creech and Brandon and Barry Elvis Performance and everybody that's part of the putting on this spring league for us. We're really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. Thank Brandon for all the time and effort they put into it. Him and Creech, I know they put a lot of time into this. And you up in the booth, man, doing the broadcast. All the guys at Five Kings I run with, Tanner Marr and Larry Bell and Brandon Mettler was able to run with us tonight. So it's fun running with those guys. Thanks to them, and just appreciate everybody that put on a good show tonight. A lot of good racers in here. This car was a big handful, so we did have a lot of cautions early, but I think towards the end everybody started getting a handle on the car, and it ended up being a pretty good finish there.
Yeah, definitely an exciting one to cap off. Maybe not the best of races, but it's always good to end with end it off with a bang. But nonetheless, congratulations to you once again on your 3rd place finish here tonight.
I appreciate it, bud, and thanks again for the broadcast, and you have a great week.
Yep, you too. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, man.
Alrighty, folks. Brian Zimmerman once again popping into the podium. Now we'll grab a word from the bridesmaid, the man that was so close to picking up the victory here tonight. Justin Coleman, up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's up?
Well, it looked like you got the 2 to go signal. You were going down the back straightaway, almost to turns 3 and 4 to get the white flag and caution. And there it was. You had to re-rack them, restack them, and you got through the first restart, and you just about got the white flag again, and then the caution flag flew yet again. And you had to settle for a second here tonight. I think Brandon might have just had a little bit more tire left there at the end, but still 2nd place, a good run here tonight, coming from 12th place on the grid.
Yeah, it was a good night. It started a little rocky, but there towards the end we got it figured out, and car settled in, and it was on a rail. And darn cautions, man, they'll get you every time.
I know. Not only did it happen once, I thought you were gonna be able to escape with the win despite having to do a restart. But then the second one, I was like, no, because I saw how quick Brandon was coming through the field. I was like, man, he's gonna have to really work to hold him off. But
yeah, well, that high side will prevail almost every time here.
Yeah,
you get such a good run coming up off the corner, but oh well. I mean, 2nd place, it's not bad. Starting 12th, so I'll take it. I'm happy Brandon got him a win. He kind of got dumped there earlier in the race anyway, so he probably should have been there to begin with. But
yeah, sometimes the cards fall the way they were originally meant to be dealt.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'll take it. ECR 1 and 2. I don't know where Creech ended up at. Oh. He finished top 10 for him, so hey, good night for ECR.
Yeah, all 3 of you guys had a pretty good night. Obviously, you and Brandon able to get the win. Is there anybody that that helped here this evening that you have to thank? Oh my goodness, couldn't get the words out right there, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I got a good old list of them. Thank you first off for broadcasting. Do a good job. Thank everybody at All Star, all the admins for putting these races on. They're always fun and always different. Go down my sponsor list: PH Homes Construction, Gibbs Brothers Construction, Parker Brothers Window Tinting, R&R Boutique, Shockeye Racing Performance, Barry Elvis Performance and Fabrication, and Coleman Design. And that'll do.
Alrighty, a good list of guys helping you out here this evening. But nonetheless, great run for you here tonight. Ended up in the 2nd spot, once again on the podium. I think almost 2nd week in a row. You almost got last week. This makes up for last week's run.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, we'll talk to you next week. Hopefully you have a good run there.
All right, appreciate it, brother.
Alrighty.
See ya.
That was Justin Coleman, folks, your runner-up here this evening. And now to talk to the man of the hour, the victor here tonight. Got spun earlier on, was able to battle through the adversity and make his way back up to the top of the board. Brandon Elvis, you got a copy.
Hey, man. What's up?
Well, that was an eventful race. I thought it was going to be a restart masterclass brought to you by Brandon Elvis, but there at the end, or there in the middle of the race, Zimmerman just barely tagged you through the corner, and these cars are so hard to save. A little bit of contact, and then it was on from there. But you were able to recover and drove back through the field. Couple lucky cautions there at the end, and you were right back in it.
Yeah, man. The deal with Zimmerman there, it kind of hit me in the middle 1 and 2. I know it wasn't egregious, and he didn't mean to do it. It kind of got me in the middle 1 and 2 and got me loose. Well, if you ever spin the tires in these things, you better enter with caution on the next set of corners. It's going to be really, really loose.
Oh yeah.
So I had to kind of err to the side of good there, and he kind of got me again, and it just sent me, killed the car. Yeah, Coleman had it in the bag, man. He got that one taken from him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, not once but twice. I just talked to him about that, about how he was in turns 3 and 4 multiple times, ready to see the white flag, and then the caution flew first.
Yeah, man, that's happened to me a few times. In another league, it happened. Coming through the white, then I lost the race because of it. I think it happened in the super late models with the Cripple line deal once, I think. But that's a tough pill to swallow. But I mean, I kind of say, hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes that's just the way the cards fall. I mean, what do you want me to say, right?
I really hate that for you, Coleman.
Yeah.
That's my buddy though, and I feel like you got one taken from him tonight. Hey, if it ain't him, better me, right?
Yeah. The ECR 1-2 regardless, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good run for both of you guys, and obviously doing good this season. Your second victory, second on asphalt. We didn't see much of you last week at Lucas Oil, so the next dirt track we go to, you're going to have to really strap in and put on a show.
What do you mean? I ran second the whole race. Or
Yeah.
the first part of it. And then,
Yeah, the
then
first
just kind
part,
of hung around the top 3, and then that last restart, man, I messed myself up, dude.
Yeah, that's fun.
Ran completely out of talent. The little bit I had to lose, I lost it. So
There it went. Yeah, it happens. All of us guys that are on asphalt, we try to go on dirt, and then we're so good, and then all of a sudden it all falls apart, and then all of our weaknesses are displayed at once. But
well, with the dirt, man, I got to get the asphalt driver out of me, because I try to enter the corner 2 straight, and people like Hunter Lagoons and Justin Coleman and those guys, man, they're so good at pitching the car in the corner and maintaining that balance on dirt. It's a true art. Props to those guys that can do it.
yeah, it's definitely hard, and I mean, I feel like I'm a decent dirt driver on any car but this SRX car, because it's so much of a different animal going into the corner and trying to keep the car going in the right direction. But we got 2 dirt tracks the next 2 weeks. What's your plan going into those?
Hope and pray.
A lot of practice, hope and pray it goes my way. Sometimes that's all you can do, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I might have used up all my luck tonight, so.
Well, we'll see you next week, but before we wrap things up, once again, is there anybody that you have to thank that helped get you into the victory lane here tonight?
Absolutely. My wife, I know she's probably getting tired of me doing this all the time. But she's a good sport. She lets me race when I want to. She reads her books, and got a pretty cool thing going there. But Variables Performance, Chestnut Hill, Coleman Design, Shotgun Racing Performance, Justin Coleman, my teammate out there, Dalton Creech. He's also an ECR now. We had good team effort tonight. 1-2. Hate it was me that got on top, you know.
Yeah, what a shame that is, right?
Yeah, and Justin's home track nonetheless.
Oh, I mean that makes it even worse. Hey, it's okay. Next week we go to the dirt track at Lanier for a doubleheader, so maybe he can. That'd be something if he could do them both. That would be a comeback story.
Well, he'll probably lap the field in one of those races.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, good run for you here tonight, Brandon. Glad you were able to recover from that early controversy and go get the win that Justin Coleman said was rightfully yours.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I had some bad luck, and he ended up the same person that got me. Self spun, brought out the caution, and kind of messed him up too. So
Yeah, he was fixing his earlier mistake. He knew what he was doing.
yeah, I hope that wasn't the case. I doubt it, but
Yeah.
good run to Zimmerman too. But just thanks for broadcasting for us each week, man. We really appreciate it.
Yep, I know you guys go back and watch. This one will be a little bit more of a skip through the yellow flags for you tomorrow, but at least
Certainly.
you're going to be able to see yourself in victory lane, right?
Yeah, there we go.
Alrighty, well, we'll talk to you next week and probably later on this evening about the race here tonight. But till next week, good win to you, Brendan, tonight.
Hey, thanks, Winston.
Yep. Alrighty, folks, that was your race winner here tonight, Brandon Elvis. I'm just going to hop out of Discord because I couldn't even find the voice channel anyways, but race winner tonight, Brandon Elvis. A very eventful race here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. I think we had 11 or 12 cautions was the final number, but still able to get a good finish in there at the end, and Brandon Elvis was able to just barely get in front of Justin Coleman those last couple laps on that last restart and pick up the victory. But I think that's going to wrap things up for us here at the fairgrounds. Next week, though, double header at Lanier. iRacing has a dirt track configuration to our dispose, so we're going to make use of that, and we're going to have Lanier on asphalt and dirt next week with the SRX cars. So that'll be a fun race for week number 4 of the SRX Spring Shootout. But nonetheless, that's going to wrap it up here at the fairgrounds. We'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and watched through this one, but we will see you guys next week at Lanier. Peace.